Hi, I'm Tonya Hill. Thanks for joining me. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do the photo emulsion method for screen printing. Everybody thinks it's the most difficult, but it really isn't. You just have to follow some simple directions and you can be very successful with it. You can take any image that you want and screen print it. You can get images off of the internet. You can get anything you want to do, you can screen print it if you can make a transparency of it. For instance, I have this little frog guy. He's cute. And so I took him and I made a stencil of him or a transparency. But when you're screen printing, one of the things you really want to do in the photo emulsion method is to at least make two. If your image is really light, you might even want three. And what you want to do is match them just absolutely perfect and then simply scotch tape them together so you have your image. The other thing you want to do is to make sure that your image will fit in your screen so that you can actually have it and be able to print it nicely. So you don't want it too close to the edges on either way. You kind of want to center it if you can. When you get to the edges, it's very hard to print it. One of the things that you'll want to do for the photo emulsion method is to take masking tape or artist tape, and you'll want to tape all the edges of your screen on both sides. The reason you want to do that is just to make sure that you don't have any leakage here. Normally, you don't have any leakage, and you want to make sure that your screen doesn't have any holes in it. So you want to take a good look at it in the light and make sure that you don't see any blemishes or holes in your screen. I'm going to show you the basics of how you do this. So you take your image, you make sure it fits in your screen, you make sure you have a squeegee that also works in the size of your screen. And you're going to first prepare your screen, but you got to make sure your image fits before you ever start. Okay? Now once you do this, this is very easy to do. Used to be when you did the photo emulsion method, you had to be in a completely dark room, and it was very, very tedious type of thing to do, almost like doing photography in the olden days. But you don't have to do that anymore. Photo emulsion comes with in a jar like this from Speedball, and then you have what they call the sensitizer. Now this is not activated until you have placed this in it. And what you're going to do is you're going to open this, and actually when you pick it up, you're going to think it's empty, and it really feels very empty. But there's just enough stuff in there for this. And what you do is follow the directions on the bottle, and it will tell you to fill it halfway with water, and then cold water, and then stir it up. And then you're going to open your photo emulsion, and you're actually going to pour your sensitizer into your photo emulsion. Now once you've done that, you have activated your photo emulsion. And your photo emulsion, once you've used it, you can keep it in a refrigerator up to about 6 months. So you don't have to, it's not a one process, use it and you didn't use enough. Now you can also make as many screens at one time as you think you can use in 30 days. So you can prepare the screens. But, well, here's the way you do it. You just simply open this bottle, and you can see it's kind of gooky, ugly stuff inside that you can't hardly see any of it. Whoops. And you just pour a little bit on to use this right here. And you just go pour a little bit of water in it. Very little bit of water. It's just about half full on this. You can feel the water in there. It's very hard to see, so you kind of have to just do it by feel because you can't hardly see down in there. And what you want to do is you can shake this up. They tell you that to stir it, but you can really shake it up. But you want every drop of this out. You need every drop you can possibly get out of this bottle to fall in here. Okay? So then you take your photo emulsion. Everything comes sealed, so it's nice and protected, and you're going to open it now. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. There we go. Okay. Now it's a blue liquid, but when it's finished it comes out like a green. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this stirred up really well, and then you're going to simply pour that right down in there. And like I said, you're going to try to get every little drop you can possibly get out of it into the bottle. Okay? Simple as that. Now once you've done that, you're just going to take a spoon or something and you're going to stir it. Now, you could do this in the daylight. You could do this in a kitchen or a studio. You don't have to worry about keeping this in the dark. At this point, there's nothing to worry about. Okay, so you're simply just going to stir it and stir it and stir it. And like I said, it started out blue. It's going to be kind of a greenish blue now. And you're just going to stir it all up. Okay, now, when you've got that done, and you've really got it stirred up well, you're simply going to take a clean screen. You've already checked it for holes and everything, and you're ready to do this. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to prepare the screen so that you can burn it. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this, and you can spoon it out, or you can dribble it out like this. All right. And what you want to do is completely cover the screen with the photo emulsion. You're just simply going to cover the screen totally. Okay, there's not any picture on it, nothing like that. You're just going to cover it totally with the photo emulsion, and you want it really covered well. Again, I would put some newspaper or old paper under it. And while you're doing this, you should have already planned where you're going to put this to dry. Now, what you want to dry is you do want to put it in the dark to dry until you're ready to print it. It takes, sometimes it can take as much as 24 hours to get one dry. So it's not an not a project that you can do in a 20 minutes or something. It takes a while for this to get good and dry. Okay, so what you want to do is just get it all on there. Got a hole there, I guess, maybe, that I didn't catch. There, I got it. All right, and you want to get it as close to the edges. Now, if you have, like I said, you can put tape around the edges so that you don't have any leakage. I found that the speedball screens are very tight, and you don't very seldom do you have any leakage on those. But it's always a good idea to just go ahead and put the tape around it, just as a precaution. You can do this too before you print. You can just do this. You can put the tape on it before you print. Once you've got the screen done. Once you've got the screen covered with the photo emulsion, you again, just like with the screen filler and drawing fluid method, you want to make sure you got it all covered. And you can do a little bit of cleanup on the back. You don't need any excess. It takes a long time to dry as it is. So you just pull it off. And if you're real good at it, you can actually put it back in the jar. You could take a spoon, take it right off your squeegee, and save it. Again, you can keep this now, and you can use this because you could do a lot of screens with this little bottle. It does come in a bigger bottle, but this will do a lot. But you can keep it in the refrigerator, tighten the lid, and you can keep it in the refrigerator for up to 6 months and still do screens, which is really neat. Okay, so let me see if I can get any more out of here. Yep, get a little bit. Okay, and you just simply put it in there. There we are. Now, you don't have to be like Speedy Gonzales doing this, but you don't want to mess with this for an hour either, so in the light. So what you want to do is once you've got that done, you simply want to take it someplace in the dark. And the best way to do this is have something like little pegs or little glasses or something around that you can put in the dark with it to set it up so the air can dry. It can air dry down below as well, so it can go all the way through. Something like that. Okay? Don't let whatever you're doing set in any of the photo emulsion, but just on the edges, and you just keep it in the dark and you let it totally dry. All right? Once it's dry, I'll show you what you do. Once you dry it, and it's totally dry, what you're going to do is you're going to take the screen, and this screen already has one on it, but it works really well to show you. You're going to take this screen, and you're going to take it out of the dark, and you're going to kind of have everything ready to go. What you're going to do is you're going to take your image, which is 2 transparencies put together with the tape, okay, and you're going to lay it down on your screen. Now, you can burn and screen doing it this method, putting a glass over top of it, or you can turn it over and burn it on the back of the screen, and it will do the same thing. When you're doing letters, though, or wording, you got to make sure that when you're doing it, you're going to read it like this. So when you put it on the back, you'll be backwards to you, laying it down just like that, so that when you print it, it'll be right. Okay. Now you try to keep your fingers off of the edges of your transparencies too, so you don't have it may burn a fingerprint in there. But again, we could correct it if we do. Okay. Now once you've done that, and you've brought it out, and you have a place for it, you lay it down like that. And if you have a piece of glass or plexiglass that you can lay over it, it really helps it because it just keeps it closer to the screen. Makes it really nice. I have one here that fits up to I think it's a 12 by 16 screen. Okay, so basically that's what you're going to do. And then you need a light source. And a light source is a photo flood light bulbs. This one is about it's a 250 watt light bulb. And then you need a pie pan, just the 10 pie pans that you can get at the store. And what you're going to do is you're going to split it so that you can get the light bulb in it, and then you're going to tape it so there's no light coming through here, and you have your light bulb just hanging with the dome of the tin pan. Then you're going to hang this in a light source, and here's the tricky part to burning a screen. There is a whole listing of there's a whole listing of the measurements that you need for the light source, and how long you burn a screen is all based on the size of the screen. So here's a good standard though. You take a ruler, a 12-inch ruler, and you want the light source to be 12 inches from the bottom of the light bulb to the top of your screen, just like that. So that's where your light would go, and it would go center on the screen. Okay, now you can rig up any kind of light. You may have a light source that you can just plug in, and if it has a dome on it, please take it off and use the tin. It really works much better. Okay, but that's the light source. Now what you're going to do when you do that is you're going to turn that light on for 10 minutes, and you're going to be ready when 10 minutes is up. Set an old kitchen timer and wait for the 10 minutes. As soon as that's done, you want it, and your light is the time to turn the light off. You want to immediately turn the light off. You want to take off your glass. You want to remove your transparency, which can be used over and over, okay? And then you want to go to a sink where you have a good spray. Now, if you don't have a good spray in your kitchen, but you have one for your yard, that works great too. So just take it out, and what you're going to do is you're going to start spraying, and you're going to keep spraying. And it takes a while to do this, and you're going to spray and spray, and then your image is going to open up so that you can see through it. And you're going to hold it up, and you're going to be able to see light through your image, nothing else. Okay, the rest of it's going to stay dark. This one actually has 2 images on it, one at the top and one at the bottom, so if I wanted to print either one or both, I could do it at the same time. And this has been burnt. You can see through it, so you have to keep washing it. It does take a while to do it. You want to do it with cold water. Once you've got it completely exposed so that you can see all of your image, then give it a nice light wash on both sides, take it out, and just kind of dry it with a towel and let it dry. One thing you don't want to do with screen printing is try working with a wet screen or a wet squeegee when you get ready to use the inks. You need it to be dry. So go ahead and let it dry. And once it's dry and you have your image, you're ready to screen print. And you can screen print it forever and a day if you want to. Now, if you didn't like your image or you wanted to reclaim this screen, you can simply use a product called Photo Emulsion Remover, and you can actually remove the photo emulsion from the screen. What you will have is like a ghost of the image, but you could screen print right over it. Again, you could photo emulsion right over it and it wouldn't show up. But the nice thing about this is that with speedball screens, you can take this screen out, keep your image, put another screen in, and go forward. It's much easier than cleaning it. Okay? Well, once you've done that, it's just really easy. It's not hard to do. The tricky parts are to remember to put the water in this, get it mixed up well, add it to your photo emulsion, get your screen completely covered, and then put it in the dark and let it dry. It takes about 24 hours. And then make sure you have your light source ready when you bring it out. Make sure you have your image ready, and you're ready to go. And you can screen print it. Now, the other thing you can do is you can take your image and you can lay it down on a screen like that. And you can simply set it outside in the sun if you have a bright sun like in Florida. And you can leave it for maybe a half hour or so, and it will actually burn into the screen from the sun. So you can do that, and then you have to wash it out. It's according to how hot it is and so forth as to how long it's going to take in the sun, but you can do that. So it's this is photo emulsion method. Don't be afraid of it. It's really easy to do. It's just you need to follow the directions. Thank you so much for joining us. Watch my video and have a lot of fun screen printing.